Hey, yo, 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 you know why I'm here. I'm going to play a commercial or two, and then we're going to kick this thing off. We're here an hour early because that's just the way it is. But at 4 o'clock, we're going to be launching this dude.
When they mined an area, they put down yellow tape right across that line. See? And if you walked on the wrong side of that yellow tape, you blew up.
Strange Tales 136. I remember it very clearly, and that was my first exposure to Kirby. And I wanted to show it to people.
In a world ravaged by monsters, a new evil has risen, poisoning the land and threatening humanity. Now, the monster Matador, along with the meanest and baddest kaiju killers, have joined forces to kick its ass. Monster Matador, Afropocalypse.
Sunsworn Wings of Vengeance is funding now on Indiegogo. Don't miss this action-packed space fantasy adventure sure to rekindle your love for the genre. Get it now on Indiegogo or just go to sunsworn.com.
Gotta have my pops.
Oh, you know what that's all about, yo. What is happening, everybody? Welcome to another edition, an early edition of the Monday Madness with me, my co-host, The Richness.
Hi, Pops. How are you today?
Wonderful and illustrious guests. Top billing, Steph Cannon.
Hello, Steph. How are you today?
Hi.
Matt Knowles. What's happening?
Hello, Matt Knowles. It's great to see you again.
What's going on, man? Long time no see.
It has been too long. It is a pleasure to see you once again, as well as you, Stephanie.
Thanks. It's good to be on.
Mr. Rogers has kidnapped my buddy Rich.
This is just what Matt and I do when we get on shows. We just exude.
Oh, fuck. I forgot my gin and tonic. I'll be right back.
Oh, no.
I'll be right back. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. I got to get it.
Go get it.
Fuck. 1 sec.
That's my boy Rich. It's
This man knows what he wants.
It's a party, you know. I can't believe it. How you two doing?
Doing well. How about you, Pops?
I'm powering through it, having a good day. Had a great weekend. Butt hurts a little bit, but I've been in this chair for 3 days now.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna say that's.
I was gonna say that does
clarify
sound like
this because
that's
that
the
could
makings of a good weekend.
Not butt hurt or anything like that, but
well, you said your butt hurts, man. That could be a lot of. Rich just got up and the conversation went completely south, and he's gonna be like, "What happened, man?"
I don't know. That sounds like a good weekend to me.
Have you watched any of the Netflix show Norseman?
I got the madness now. It's
No.
an hour early.
Have not.
One of the, it's more of a
Okay.
funny thing
Here I am.
about like Vikings and stuff, but one of the
Okay.
guys always refers to his
All right.
assicle being numb.
Oh,
Like we think dude might have a little tail.
Rich, you missed the conversation go completely sideways as soon as
Pop's
you got
butt
up.
was hurting. It was
Pops talked about how his butt is hurting and his butt is sore, and we're like, and then he explained that it was from weekend activities, and it didn't change our understanding in any way.
No.
Yeah, and in fact, it solidified it for me.
Wait. You had Pops. You had the audacity to say that when I was not here.
Oh yeah, I did. I'm sorry. Which what I said was
God. I would have said that. You know.
I asked them how they were doing, and Steph said, "We're doing fine. How you doing, Pops?" And I said, "Well, my butt hurts a little," which is true. I've been sitting in this chair for this is day 4, okay, and the last 2 days was without break.
Yeah,
So,
that's tough.
You know,
I feel like that at some point in these weekends that a new segment should be added in called Pops Push-Ups. So that way you can get some physical activity. You change your camera
the chair for a minute.
every couple hours, 5 push-ups for Pops.
Yeah,
and you can see how many you
I
get.
can do that with one hand, man. You're gonna
Will we be sweating with the oldies when we do this?
I'm just saying, after an hour, if you do it every hour, that's like a few hundred push-ups over the course of the weekend. So, like, you know,
you're a college football guy. You know who Sparky is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's
Every
Sparky?
time they score, he does the compounded number of points they have. So at 7, then he does 14, then he does 21, then he does every time they score, right? They scored 56 points once, and my dumb ass jumped up before the game and said, "I'm gonna hang out with Sparky today." At the end, I had to do 56. The last set was 56, 49, 40. You know what I mean? 42. It was horrible, bro. It got harder and harder. I had a whole.
That's what she said.
That's what she
Sparky
said.
after that.
Not the first time I've heard that expression myself. No.
Are you Sparky Rich?
Oh, it depends on where I am and who I'm with. You know, sometimes I'm just me. Sometimes, you know, it all depends.
Carrie
Well,
Wilson.
on that note.
Now, I have to warn you, Rich always tries to trigger the disclaimer. So be ready. I'm just, he likes to try and trigger the disclaimer, make me put it up.
I trigger everything.
You see what I'm saying? So if he goes like totally off the wall for a second, it's only because he wants to read the disclaimer.
Well, it's a true story too. True story. The first thing that Matt and I ever bonded over truly was "That's What She Said" jokes. So
yep, we were talking about comic art, and we were talking about some things we're going through, and she kept making statements that I just wanted to say that's what she said too.
I was baiting him to see.
But here's the thing though. Some people are cool with that, some people aren't. And after like 15, 20 of these, I was just like, that's what she said. I can't hold it back anymore. That's what she said. And she goes, you find that funny too? I say that every possible chance I get. And we were like, okay, cool. Our sense of humor opened up right there.
We're like, we're both 12-year-old kids giggling in the back of health class. That's essentially what we are. So.
I always think about the episode of Beavis and Butthead when they couldn't laugh at like the sexual entends and stuff like that in the class.
That's every episode of Beavis and
Butthead. But they have the one episode where they have to like hold it in, and then like after the class, after the day, they have to go out the front door, and it's just like they're going like nonstop for like 5 minutes, just getting all that out of their system. That's how I felt. I just couldn't resist that anymore.
But we are professionals.
I'll kick your ass again.
Pops, I see you got a question for me.
I was going to mention that.
I
You got a
do.
question for me over for me in the chat. So I
Oh,
gotta give
for
From
Matt.
Carrie. Yeah.
So the question says, where did you get first? Your look is awesome. So thank you, Carrie.
Okay.
Where'd you get your steampunk goggles from? So these goggles here are actually just off of Amazon. Steph and I actually have a matching set here, but normally all the goggles we wear are actually custom made for us from GB Leatherworks. They actually
That's awesome.
they've
That's
actually
really
got some custom stuff that is in our campaign that we'll talk about later. But we have a
That is
really
super
good
cool.
relationship with the guys there. We make a lot of different custom merch, and so yeah, all the goggles that we normally wear are from them. They're very unique. And one of the things that, and I'll speak for Steph here. Steph has got a very sensitive forehead. No reason I noticed because I have to see like when she takes her goggles off, she's got like these like indentations in her head, and I'm just like, I feel bad for her. So I'm like rubbing a spot on her forehead to kind of make
To be
these grids
fair,
go out.
my forehead is mostly sensitive from the scar from skin cancer surgery. So let's be real and let's not
Christ.
forget that part of it. Okay,
But
I'm
that
not
wasn't
just
for-
How are you
Ramsey.
doing?
Hey, it's fair. I couldn't really say that, but like these GB Leatherworks goggles, you forget you even have them on your head. So
I
we
do.
try to
Like,
make sure we have as
legitimately.
many different variations of these as we can because they're cool. It helps us to promote them as well. So that's a long answer to your short question. But Rich, you asked Steph a question. I'll shut
Well,
up. So you can-
I'll ask her in a minute. But the first time I saw you in my life, I thought you were like the pickup artist or something. You know? No,
Or
him.
Matt. Oh
Not
yeah.
you,
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's like I've seen like the pickup artist on VH1 wear that type of stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of sexy. I mean, those goggles, they raise my spirits quite a bit. But that being said, Steph, how are you? How's your health?
And my health is good. Thank you for asking. My health is good. Last year, oh gosh, nope, we're in 2022. So in 2020, at the end of 2020, had major surgery to take care of some health issues that were
me
making
too.
stuff hard. Yeah, super hard. And best, yeah, see, I can't, yeah. Yeah, you probably don't want me to compare scars.
Yeah, no, I probably don't, but I
yeah, no, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really good. Thank you for
thank God.
asking.
No, that makes me seriously
Yeah, 'cause,
undoubtedly happy. I'm glad you're
oh my
okay.
gosh. I mean, I just think about how much my life
Yeah.
I have back now and how much I just used to plan my life
Yeah.
around being
Yeah.
sick and not feeling good and how much of my life was taken away from that. And so now I have, it's great,
Good.
It's,
When-
it's
when
very
Steph-
free.
when Steph says she was sick, there is not any exaggeration in that. She had her surgery on, what was it, a Tuesday or Thursday? And we
Was
had a
it
show.
Tuesday?
We had a show the previous weekend, and she had traveled out here to do the show. And the condition that she was in for that show
can even
legitimately scared me
Yeah.
because just getting from, the hotel just to the show floor was a struggle. And I'm like, this is crazy. But this woman over here is nuts because she loves to run. She literally ran like 5 miles the morning of her surgery.
I wasn't going to run for a while. I had to get one more
That's
in.
literally what she said to me. She goes, I'm not going to be able to run for a while. So I had to
I'm like,
get
they didn't
5
do the
more.
surgery yet. I've been running this whole time.
She's like,
What's
I got to get my miles in because I'm not going to run for a while. And then
Yeah.
as she
It
was
was like any
recovering,
other day up until they did the surgery. So
and
I
she
did
was-
forget about
yeah.
the part where I couldn't drink any water.
Yeah, that's something.
Whoops.
Yeah, you can't drink for 6 hours
Yeah.
before.
Yeah,
can't eat
it
for
was
24
winter
hours
though, so
before,
I
yeah.
didn't really need any water. It was fine.
Yeah, that was speaking of drinking, here's to you.
Yes.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I just took a look at your campaign,
Oh, you
Awesome.
mean this
and
camp?
no, I just backed it.
Thank
So
you, sir.
oh, thank you.
yeah, well, I'm one of the many that have backed your campaign. I'm going to take a look at it again, and I want to see how much you can elaborate on this. Now you had a goal of 3,700 American, which is 2,722 here in the UK. It's pounds. You're at close to 5,000 pounds, which is 66.22.
So
And
one
you
of
have
the
6
things-
days to go, and you got 135 backers. Can you tell us what's so amazing about this that you have such an incredible amount of backers and way past your goal? What's so great about this?
Love it. So the first thing we'd say is there are two different mindsets when it comes to what your backer goal is, or your financial goal is.
Mhm.
One of them says, set it for what you think you can get at the end of the campaign. The other says, set what you think you get in the first 2 days. So 3,700 is what our initial starting point was. We couldn't even fund what we already have in this campaign with 3,700 as far as the art costs and the other merch and the printing and all. So, we definitely would like to be able to continue to get to these stretch goals because it gives us the ability to actually fund the thing and also give back to the people that have backed us the whole way through. So your question was, what is awesome about this campaign? We are super stoked about this. It is the continuation of our Heirs of Isildur IP, but this is its own autonomous story arc in that if you look at, say, Star Wars, and you've got The Mandalorian, and you've got Boba Fett and whatnot, you don't have to see every single Star Wars movie ever done to understand where it's going. This is an apocalyptic sci-fi story set in a steampunk world. The art is amazing. The story is crafted. We think it's crafted really well. We're able to introduce a bunch of new characters and be able to see a bunch of different perspectives on what's happening. At the end of our previous arcs of the Crossroads Conundrum and Nightmare Scenario, an apocalyptic event has happened. We get to see this thing happen from the viewpoint of our main set of characters. When we start off the Perilous Prospects, we kind of shift the angle, and now we see how it's affecting more than just these 4 characters. We see how it's affecting an entire town. We see how it's affecting some other individuals that are become very integral to the story, and see how all of these people are experiencing it in ways that are very different, but at the same time, it's we have to survive. How can we stop this thing? Is there a way to stop it? And if so, what's the cost to trying to stop this apocalyptic event?
That's a lot. Yeah. That is a lot. I love stories like this because they have there. It looks like there's going to be some sort of twist or turn or some sort of unexpected thing that your characters, the characters based on who they are that you've already established are going to react in the ways that they usually do. This is the art's really good. The art's very good. Who is the artist on this?
You want to take this one, Steph?
The artist on this is
Alessandro Ventura. Sorry.
Yeah, my brain is very, very fried right now. I apologize. Go ahead.
All right, so you know what though? Hey, Rich, I got a question for you. If you want, because Pops just saw the video last night. If you wanted to watch the video, we tell you about the art team in the video. It's only 90 seconds long.
Fine. I'll have to watch the video then.
You want to show the video, Pops?
Where'd he go? His mic must be off. I can't show him.
He says yes.
Hey everyone, this is Matt Knowles and Steph Cannon from Symmetry Creations. There's not much time. We've got some important information for you.
We've got to tell you about our brand new Kickstarter campaign for Heirs of Isildur, The Perilous Prospects.
This 48-page perfect bound book is the first part of an apocalyptic sci-fi story arc set in a steampunk world.
The apocalypse is rumbling through Shadow's Haven, and the only way to stop it might be through those who mistakenly caused it.
We are super excited to be able to unveil to you our brand new art team of Alessandro Ventura and Bruno Hang, who have helped to bring the universe of Heirs of Isildur up to the next level.
We've got super cool variant covers and glow-in-the-dark stickers.
And don't forget the cool shirts.
And as always,
a few fun surprises!
The campaign portal will only be open for a very short time.
So go to the quick link that's down below and back, follow, and share.
We here at Symmetry Creations,
the imperiled citizens of Shadow's Haven,
and the Heirs of Isildur
will greatly appreciate it.
Well, cool. You're a very handsome couple. I will say that. You both rock the steampunk thing, really super awesome. I love it.
So we had a lot of fun with that.
I looked at this for all of maybe 2 seconds and I backed it.
Oh, so. I love it. I love it.
Lovely,
so Steph, last night when I was on with on the final show, Pop said Pop said, Matt, I got to ask you a question. What size bucket was Steph standing on in that video?
I heard that. I was watching at that point, and I laughed so hard because I was like, Pops knows. He just knows. It was literally a step stool. And as Matt said on the show last night, not only was I on a step stool, but he was actually crouching down. That's how much of a height difference there is between us.
How tall are you, Matt?
I'm 6'3", but when I have a top hat on, the top hat makes it like 6'8".
What are you, like 5 foot nothing?
Yeah, I'm like 5'2". Matt maintains that I am not 5'2", even though I have measured I'm like 5'1", 5'2". I have to say that now because Matt tries to make it seem like I'm.
Oh my God, you're an atom bomb and a firecracker package. Jesus Christ.
Yes. So it's pretty hilarious seeing us walking around.
I envy you quite a bit. This is. I'm really, really digging the interior pages here.
We're really a few of these with you guys now.
Sure.
Yeah, I want to talk about the art here. It's really good. I love how your artist.
This part, what are you looking at, Rich?
I'm looking at some of the pages as it's like the proverbial genie has been on. Well, as it's kind of describing the plot a little bit here and there, like the trailer words or something like that. It's really good. I mean, you have great angles here. It's easy to follow the action. There's everything flows in a beautiful way. This is really good.
We're really proud of our art team. Alessandro, and the funny thing is Alessandro Ventura does pencils and inks, and Bruno Hang does colors. These guys actually know each other. They're both from Brazil. They're practically neighbors. They live enough of a proximity to each other that they go and hang out, and so they're friends. And I feel like that actually works well. I'm not an artist, I can't speak for that, but I think when you have one artist that's doing pencils and inks and another that does colors, there needs to be some sort of symbiotic relationship going on there, because you need to be able to work well together, even though you're not technically working together. These guys just go together so well.
If you have people who have worked together in the past, that's the best. That's a very good strategic move. Without deference, both of the big two that I worked for, they did the same thing. To make it a lot more efficient. And I know a lot of people who don't, and I'm glad that you do, because this project. First off, I love steampunk. I wish I can draw it as well as I can draw anything else. But I mean, I love steampunk, and the way you guys have it here, with the look of it, how you have a mix of the 18th and 19th century with the ultra modern. I love it. It's fantastic.
I appreciate that. One of the really cool things about Alessandro and Bruno is that we know that there's been a couple of conversations where, they've even told us, hey, this one aspect on the page, is it going to be better for Alessandro to actually draw it and ink it, or is it going to be better for Bruno to bring it in the colors? And they have actually kind of coordinated a few things where, instead of Alessandro wasting his time on a specific element, that's something that can be colored better. They've kind of decided, okay, when this thing comes in, we're just going to leave that up to you on the coloring side. So it's been kind of neat that they've actually kind of made their process more efficient in that way. And it's been neat, like I said, the fact that they are friends. And as odd as it is, this is the first project that they've actually worked on together, even though they have worked side by side for so long.
That's interesting.
Bruno actually said that Alessandro came to him and said, you've worked on everybody else's projects. I've got a project I want you to work on with me. Come and do this Heirs of Isildur with me. And so we felt privileged because Alessandro came onto the team first. And he was like, I've got this great colorist that I really think is going to be the right one for this. And he sold us on Bruno, and then he sold Bruno on us. So he did a great job actually piecing those two sides together. So we would really respect Alessandro's vision and helping to bring Bruno in.
Right.
That's as professional as you can get, really. Good job. This is your third or fourth campaign?
This is actually our seventh.
Forgive me for not knowing. I apologize.
Well, no. Well, I understand. If you look at the Insimage Creations account, we've got 4 on this one, and we did 3 on a previous account, so it would look like 4 from here. So,
and it's also not the 7th Heirs of Isildur campaign that we've done.
Tales of
We've done a bunch of different titles. So,
speaking of a bunch of different titles, here's one of them right here.
Yep. We did Misfits Clubhouse, which is our all ages title that's going to be coming out on Scout Comics on their Scoot imprint. It should be in all stores sometime in mid-May. You should see the Scout version of Misfits Clubhouse out there. Then that was the last campaign we did. Previous to that, we did the metal album that goes along with this. And we actually had somebody ask a question today, message me and ask a really good question. He said, "Okay, I've got the Heirs of Isildur versus Tales from Nocturnia album. How does this fit into this story of the Perilous Prospects?" And the first half of that album is all associated with the Perilous Prospects. The first 3 songs are actually the Perilous Prospects of Shadow's Haven, the Perilous Prospects of the Portals, and the Perilous Prospects of the Timekeeper. We specifically did that so if someone's like, man, I don't want to go back and read the entirety of the Crossroads Conundrum or Nightmare Scenario to understand the world that I need to understand how this is operating, you can go back and look at the lyrics to those 3 songs, and we tried to make sure it communicated the foundational points, and if you understand those, you can understand the world that all this stuff is taking place in.
And it's a great CD, Rich. Music frickin' jams. I don't know if you remembered a few months back, but we dedicated one of the CRoMcons to Corey, who was the guitar player on this CD who passed away like right before. Yeah. And I got that cover of the book myself. Okay. Corey Steger. That's great. And yeah.
So I can order that later.
Sure.
Absolutely.
There might be one in we might have the add-ons might be in the add-ons. I'm not sure.
I think it's on the add-ons.
But yeah, we had dedicated that CRoMcon to Corey. And
which was awesome.
Highlighted that campaign, and I got the CD and everything, and it's, dude, I want everything that dude ever put on plastic. Okay?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Everything he's put on vinyl or CD or any streams with him playing, I want the links. Dude could jam. There was no doubt.
Oh yeah.
You know me. I love freaking music. Matt was in that panel that we had back in the day about music on your campaigns and stuff.
Yeah, all the songs that were on that video that you just heard, all the music in there is actually on the Heirs of Isildur versus Tales from Nocturnia album as well. That's all played here, all produced by us, and all in that video. So
you get jams, you get good comics, you get all ages comics, you get it all rocks.
Get
and I'm pretty sure you are also associated with Comic Books for Kids, correct?
Yeah, like you said, I know that's what we talked about the other day. We're not officially associated with it, but we definitely support anything trying to get comic books in kids' hands for sure.
Yes. You can be associated with them really easy. You just put up a tier that people can buy 2 books, they get one, and one goes to CB4K to get sent off to the kids in the hospitals. We got a lot of people doing that now, Matt. That's one of the things I'm pushing. I'm like, Comic Books for Kids, man. Everybody. Yeah. Now, they also have comics for the troops.
Okay.
For the stuff that's not for kids. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
yeah.
Everybody can get involved in this charity, and it's awesome. That's okay. I did my plug. Okay. You know what's up. So
I know what.
Well, see, so right here we got a few of the characters that are in the story. So the top 4 people, they're Remnant, Merc, Shiver, and Syndrome. These are all characters that played an integral part in the previous arcs. You got to understand where they came from. Our main character, Michael Isildur, is a watchmaker in a very puritanical steampunk enclave named Shadow's Haven. Everything in Shadow's Haven is about making sure time works exactly as it should, that people are not supposed to walk out of line. Everything is supposed to happen on a schedule, and you don't deviate from the schedule. Michael, being a curious type, he uncovered a hidden laboratory, and he went in and started messing with some machines that were in there that were lost to time and decay. In doing this, he opened up some portals that started bringing people from other eras to him. That's where Remnant, Merc, and Shiver all came from. As the Crossroads Conundrum moves forward, you get to find out about where this laboratory came from, what the origins were. You find out that the reason why the town is so puritanical, there are some kind of dark origins to that. Things that when it comes up in the story, people are like, man, that kind of slapped me in the face. I did not expect that was where this was going, because it really takes a dark turn at that point. So Remnant and Merc and Shiver and Syndrome all are characters that have affiliated themselves with Michael Isildur. And now at the end of that arc, Michael finds himself in a perilous position. They all have to kind of band together and see if they can figure out what to do on their own. As you see, there are 2 more characters underneath there, Mayor Reginald Renfro and Constable Barnabas Bigsby. The mayor, we got to see him a little bit in previous installments, but we really get to experience things from his side, being the responsible party in Shadows Haven. There's this apocalyptic event that is now taking over Shadows Haven. We get to see his leadership style. Constable Barnabas Bigsby is the leader of the patrol in Shadows Haven. He is just first announced. In this issue, he is actually the first character we get to actually see anything from in the Perilous Prospects. So we get introduced a brand new character on page 1 of this issue, and he's going to play a large role. If you scroll down there, we see 2 more characters that actually play a huge role in this entire arc. You've got the Hemlocks. You've got Natasha Hemlock and Professor Hemlock in
Hoodie.
Yep, in the Crossroads Conundrum, you see the mysterious hooded figure who reveals himself later on in the story. And there's a point where you see Hoodie in one spot, and then you see this female that also has a hood, and she concocts this big story about the fact that she has no idea this guy made her wear this, blah blah blah. We find out at the end of the story that they are affiliated. This is a father and a daughter. And there's a reason to why they have to pull this deception. But right off the bat in the story, we get to learn more about them as well. So those are 3 of the anchor sets of characters. And then you've got Michael Isildur, who is the main character of Heirs of Isildur. But he has been wounded in a significant way. And so we don't know if he's actually going to come back, if he's actually going to become a part of the story or not. But everybody's rallying around trying to do things to try and save him. And that's a big part of the story as well. Then, as you see there, we have a lot of other, secondary characters that get introduced that you'll see throughout the story. We have some drawn-in characters that are super fun. We don't really want to divulge what they are yet, because that's part of the greatness. There's also some other things in the story that we have not revealed in any way, because as Rich said, there are some swerves and there are some reveals that we felt like if we put them in the marketing, they wouldn't be reveals anymore.
Yes, don't ever do that.
Yes. We wanted to make sure they weren't there so that way when they actually happen in the story, you're like, what the heck is even going on here?
Yep.
I love when I see it in a comic, like, what is that? Oh my God, I didn't notice that one. That scares me sometimes, but I love being scared when it comes to
love it. So here we have 5 covers for this issue. The first one is Out of Time, which you saw earlier. This shows one of the iconic scenes that actually happened. You see versions of it in the Crossroads Conundrum and Nightmare Scenario, but this is one of the iconic scenes, and we build from there, where you've got Syndrome holding this clinging to life Michael, and the other 3 characters see her there, and they wonder what's going on. The second cover is by Chris Rao, and we did a Metalocalypse homage. We actually took our Heirs logo and converted it into the Metalocalypse style, and then we have a couple of mashup versions of iconic images from the show Metalocalypse, and that is the Metalocalypse homage cover. It's a limited edition by Chris Rao. The third one is our Times Have Changed 13 o'clock logo that we're debuting with this story on a foil cover. We really like the way that this cover's coming out. We also have, we'll get later on, we do have the foil shirts that you can see that I'm wearing the prototype, the male version prototype of our foil version of this shirt.
Hold up.
Next is the, oh, here we go.
I'll show that shirt.
So there's the foil shirt.
Show off that chest.
Oh, baby. Yes, we have the foil shirt. We really, really like the way these things have come out. We wanted to do something different. We haven't seen anybody really do foil on a shirt. We wanted to be classy, but still be cool. Pops just skip by. We have the black, which is the reverse sketch cover. Everybody does white sketch covers. We wanted to do a matte black sketch cover so that the artist had to, draw on paint pens and do something that was challenging. So we have the matte black sketch cover there. And then last but not least, we have the Steampocalypse cover E, which is also by Bruno and Alessandro, that shows some of the images that you would see within this story arc. All of these are 48-page perfect bound, so they all have a spine on the side of the book. Even the foil, even the sketch cover, all going to be spined books that are going to be in this whole series.
I want to ask a question.
Okay. What you got, Rich?
Okay. When you and Steph write these books, what's your what's the method to your madness? Who does what? Or is it like a thing where it's like it just spontaneously just happens? I mean, can you describe to me the creative energy on what you guys do? Because it's like you have enough energy already describing everything you have, Matt. I want to hear your perspective as well as Steph's perspective on how you two create these stories.
So it's actually kind of neat. Steph and I live in Florida. She lives in California. So the way for us to interact, we sit on video chat all day long, just as if we went to our job and we're in cubicles next to each other. So we just are on the video chat and we go through our normal daily work. We've got spreadsheets that have got story ideas. We have spreadsheets for scripts. We actually do virtually everything. And I think Google Sheets is probably our most used item. That way we can be editing things in real time with our artists across the world. Normally, when the idea comes up, it's whoever has the idea. But then after that, it's however we want to build on it. I move a mile a minute, and I'm always the one that's typing. So, and I'm really
shocker, right?
I'm really proficient with Google Sheets and Google Docs. So a lot of times when it comes to actually putting the actual dialogue onto the Google Sheet, I'm going to be the one that's typing it. But a lot of times it's me typing the stuff that Steph and I have already concocted. Heirs of Isildur is a story arc that started from before she and I met. So I would say I'm in the driver's seat on this one with Steph in the support role, but that doesn't mean that a lot of the ideas that have come up in the story, especially in this arc we're co-writing, haven't come from both of us. I think Steph could probably communicate a little more about how we handle Tales from Nocturnia and these individual stories in Misfits Clubhouse, because Misfits Clubhouse is a lot of shorter one-off stories, so it's a lot easier to be like, hey, this is Steph's driver's seat story with me in support, or vice versa.
I'm also interested in hearing Steph's creative process. I heard yours, Matt.
Yours.
Yeah, I would say we used to say that a lot, where one person was in the driver's seat. That's kind of like Matt's motto that we adopted, was one in the driver's seat, one in the passenger seat. But I don't really see it that way anymore.
Well, I don't see it that way either. I wasn't trying to allude to that. No. It's like your creative. Well, like your creative process and how it gels with Matt's.
Mine was very different because when I started writing comics in 2017, I had wanted to be a writer since I was a kid. And I said, I want to write comics. That's how I'm envisioning this story that I have in my head. I'm envisioning it as a graphic novel. So I went and I learned how to write a comic script, because I said, if I'm going to do this, I want to do it right. And writing a comic script is not just sitting down and just do it. You have to actually know how to break it down. I read some books on how to write comic scripts. I actually looked up, there's a lot of comic scripts that you can look up online for free
I think I know what site you're talking about.
And it's just nice to kind of get an example of how they're doing it. And
they're essentially screenplays, really.
Screenplays. I did a lot of screenplays because I'm a movie lover at heart. I do movie reviews. That's my first love. And I actually, some of the books that I read were
cool.
Like screenplay books that because they're very, very similar. And so when I was writing scripts, I was writing them almost screenplay style, where I was starting out, exterior, night, and those types of things.
That's perfect.
That's very different from Matt's method, which is Google Docs, Google Sheets, all the way. Whereas I was just typing it in on Word. So we've had to adapt a little. As he said, Heirs was his baby. It was his creation. When I came onto the scene, he had notes for this story arc that we're working on now, but that was basically the skeleton. And so I've come in and helped fill in all those little gaps to make it what it is today.
Excellent.
For the other stories that we've done, we have our medieval fantasy story, Tales from Nocturnia, which is actually a spinoff from Heirs. I feel like the process wasn't actually that much different. where I think I've been able to put in most of my ideas has been with Misfits Clubhouse. But again, the process is still the same. I don't want to say I'm the support role and he's in the lead, but it kind of is that way in some ways, where it just sort of kind of melds in that way, but we're both still creating the stories together.
Well, of course, you know.
Yeah, there's
Misfits,
absolutely
it's
some elements in the stories where you could say, oh, well, Ayers is Matt's story, but there are some arcs and stuff's like, you realize that you left this piece out and you have this dangling thing over here. You've got to bring this back in.
Yes.
In Tales from Nocturnia, when we were constructing it, stuff's like, there's got to be some familial relations, brothers and sisters that are involved, and some of the characters developed because of the insistence and her strong feel on that. So it's kind of like when you've got 2 cups and you take and you pour them into a bucket. How do you know which cup put which water in there? It's just all that big, it's all there now. So to try and dissect it back out and say, this was Steph's piece and this was my piece. When we, back in the day, we had written a script and Steph had the opportunity to pitch a script to a publisher. And it was something that came from a story she had written. And she's like, I want you to write this script with me. And her statement then was, it doesn't matter if it's my initial concept. What we do is 100% 50-50 on this, because if we are both contributing our ideas in here, nobody can say, oh, well, just because Steph typed in 500 words and Matt typed in 50, those 50 words could have been the most important 50 words out of all of them. And that's how we approach everything we do. Who cares how we break it back up? We keep on working on it and bringing it to fruition.
I think Rich totally understands that, because that's kind of like how he laid it out to me on the project that we're going to be working on. It's like, look, I don't care how little you do or how much you do. This is our project. And I was like,
you have to look at it.
I want to include as much. I see, for me, it's like, if it's going to be a tandem, if it's going to be an idea that's going to be conceived on both of that there should be equal footing for everything of equal importance, depending on what element of the story it is. Well, I'm going to get most of the money then, so it's just like that. So there you are.
The one doing all the drawing.
Right, if I'm going to do most of the work, then I'm going to get most of the money, But what I'm saying is that it looks like the two of you have a good collaborative spirit. It seems like Steph's is more just like flow. It's like, without making it sound like it's any type of insult or anything, Steph is the beautiful chaos, and then Matt takes it and makes it a perfect order within a story. So it's like, it's like Steph is the ingredient of the cake. Matt is the chef with the.
And it works, and it works really well that way.
It does.
And just from a technical standpoint, I appreciate Google Docs and Google Sheets, and I use them every day, but they also make me crazy, because if you do one little thing wrong in there, it's like you set off a bomb. And it just drives me crazy, because I'm like, I hit the I key and now my entire work disappeared. It makes me want to lose my mind. And so it's honestly easier if Matt's in there typing. That doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother him at all. It doesn't bother me at all. So I don't like Google Docs. When you get into spreadsheets and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm gonna flip out.
I came from the white collar world, having to manage databases with millions of rows of data in there. So being in stuff like that just doesn't bother me. And we actually had one artist before that was like, I want to work with you guys again, just so I can have the kind of script that you guys produce, because the way it's handled, it's detailed. We don't try to compartmentalize and force the artist. So like, Rich, let's say you worked with us. We don't try to be like, Rich, we're going to give you every single detail, and we're going to force you to be like, the eyes have to look this way and this and that. We make sure we're like, hey, Rich may have a certain style he wants to do. We're going to make sure that we tailor our scripts to be a Rich style. Like, we've got an art team in India right now, an art team in Brazil that, we're heel on Misfits Clubhouse, and then our Brazil guys, they work wildly differently. If Raheel was doing Airs, we'd write that script completely different. If the Brazil guys were working on Misfits Clubhouse, the script would be totally different. We make sure that the script meets what the artist needs, and only what the artist needs, not too much.
There's actually been times that we've talked about something on a script and we've kind of gone back and forth. Hey, do we want to have them do it this way or do we want to have them do it this way? And we've literally said, oh, we'll let it's whatever Raheel feels will work best. And it's not giving the artists more work, it's giving them freedom because we trust them and we know that what they're going to do. And a lot of times their idea from a composition standpoint is better than what we could have ever come up with.
Yeah. All right, Matt, speed round. We got like a few more minutes left, and then I got to go help Glenn launch his book. So, speed round, stretch goals, tiers. What do you want to go through?
All right, well, let's see. Let's go through the stretch goals real quick. So, stretch goals, we've already gotten to the point where we've got 3 trading cards that we've designed for Mayor Reginald Renfro, for Natasha Hemlock, and for Barnabas Bigsby. One of the stretch goals we just got to makes them all foil cards. We've got the a couple of PDFs we've unlocked. We also have got the leatherwork from GB Leatherworks. We have a custom Michael's Traveler's Pouch that was a very big, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
I freaking love that. He just busted it out right now. I love it.
Oh, yeah. So we got the custom Michael's Traveler's Pouch that was a big part of the Crossroads Conundrum, but we never really saw a good image of it in there. Now we have a good image of it, and we try to make those things meta where you see it created in Leatherwork, you see it created by GB Leatherworks. At some point in the story, whether it's this issue or not, you're probably going to see it actually happen within the pages of the issue. We've got the ability to get drawn into issue 2. The reason why it's drawn into issue 2 is the book is almost done. Right now, the artist is actually working on the final pages on his side so that we can get this thing done. And we can actually have this thing to the printers very soon. He's going to be working on the art for issue 2 probably before this thing is even done. The next stretch goal is at 7,000. The key phrase for airs is where steampunk comics and metal collide. The stretch goal is where steampunk comics and metal collide, but not how you'd think, because we take it in a different way. As far as the tiers go, we have got ways for you to get each cover individually. You can get all the covers together. You can get the metal album. We did do colored vinyl for the album. We still are waiting for that to come in, so we didn't officially put it in the campaign. If you want to overpledge, we'll still get you one, but we didn't want to put it in here considering we haven't fulfilled those on the previous campaign, and we thought it was a bad practice to go and put them directly in the campaign first. So if you want to get one and you understand we're going to probably get them in 6 to 8 weeks, hey, that's fine. Every cover that we've ever done for our projects, we have available in the stretch goals or in certain tiers. We try to make sure that there's a way for you to get everything. If there's something we've done that you are like, hey, we know you guys did, Rich, you mentioned Atom Bomb earlier. We actually did a Garbage Pail Kids homage set from Walter Ostley from Metal Shark Bro. We have Michael Isildur, we have Beninock the Executioner, and we've got the Verminoth all in Atom Bomb homage covers. We have regular and full and trading cards all in the add-ons. If you see something we've done that you want to get your hands on and you're like, dude, I don't see it in there, let us know. We'll make it here for you. We are not in the sales prevention department.
That is sexy as fuck. That is super sexy. I am all aglow right now. That is so cool that you have so much of this stuff here, man. I'm going over this campaign. It looks fucking awesome.
All right, Steph, I'm muting him. You got the last 5 minutes. Top billing, babe. You know what's up.
Matt, shut up. Let it
He's so much better at talking faster than I am. So we have 5 days, 6 days. It ends on Sunday.
Yeah,
Whatever, however many days that is. Okay, it ends on Sunday. When you put me on the spot, I don't really know what else to say about it. Let me talk about some of our upcoming appearances. How about that? Because we talked a lot about the campaign, but when the campaign ends, Matt and Steph don't end. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. So Matt is going to be at a show this Saturday in Clearwater, Florida. I don't know what the actual official name of this little show is. Because I'm not going to be at it.
It's Clearwater Comic Con. I'll be a guest on there with Scout Comics, helping out with Andrea Molinari from The Shepherd.
There you go. We also are going to be at Collective Con in Jacksonville, Florida, March 11th, 12th, and 13th.
That's with Brandon and Danny. Danny.
I think so.
No. There's a store called The Collective, but then there's actually a con called Collective Con.
Collective Con, yeah. This is in Jacksonville.
I thought they did a con called. I thought they did a Collective Con.
There's another con that has a very similar name. Yeah.
Yeah, and Danny will do shows at the Collective, but this is actually the Collective Con.
All right.
So that one, Matt is actually the panel moderator for the entire show. So he gets to do all the celebrity interviews, and I will be there as well. We're going to be, I'll be manning the booth, and he'll be running around like a chicken with his head cut off, doing interviews, panel interviews all day long. So yeah, those are our 2 upcoming shows.
Now this is this is the most awesome East Coast West Coast tandem. Okay.
Translation: Steph does a lot of traveling.
Steph has the best travel stories. I'm gonna have her on sometime for an hour just to talk
about the travel stories.
Right, cool.
Something, I mean, it's when you travel as much as I do, it's bound to happen. But I have had some of the weirdest, just craziest, horrible, the list goes on. But you know what? This last time was actually, I don't want to say a happy travel story, but it was a heartwarming travel story in the midst of tragedy and sadness, which was, I came in for Atlanta Steampunk Expo, which was in, of course, Atlanta. And Matt and I were going to do the show, and then we were going to drive to Florida and do a quick business day in Florida before I flew out the following day. And the day that we were supposed to drive from Atlanta to Florida, Matt got the unfortunate news that his brother who had a terminal illness, was doing not good at all. And they had actually told his family, get the kids, his kids need to come in. That's how bad it is. And I told Matt, I said, we're literally within, 4 or 5 hours of Charlotte, North Carolina, which is where his brother and his family were. I said, we need to go right now, because you can't miss this opportunity to be there and have some last moments with your brother. And that's exactly what we did. We drove from Atlanta to Charlotte right away. And fortunately and unfortunately, Matt got that needed time with his brother before he passed. But we were there in Charlotte when I was supposed to be flying out of Florida. So I said, you know what? I'll worry about it later. Don't worry about it. I've got this. I've had some crazy travel stuff before. Surely I can find a flight out of Charlotte instead of Orlando. And that was not the case. There was literally nothing. So I was like, I guess I'll rent a car and drive to Florida to make my original flights and drive through the night. I don't know. Don't worry about me. Do what you need to do. I'll get it handled. Fortunately, Matt's nephew has a friend. There's a friend of the family named Otto, who hooked us up in an incredible way, and found me, and actually, like, basically all of Matt's family emergency plane tickets, essentially, to get us to our destinations. So even though it made for a crazy day, it worked out because I was able to be there. Matt was able to be where he needed to be. I was able to be there with him for a little while before I had to leave. So sometimes it works out through the kindness of people that I mean, Otto did not know me at all. And so
I never had met this dude in my life. From the time the text came in saying call the kids in to the time my brother passed away was 34 hours. And this dude, Otto, got people from Denver and from California to Charlotte. He got Steph, who he'd never met before. He got my other nephew who had driven from Pennsylvania and thought he was going to have to drive back and then back. He got them both worked out. So this dude single-handedly changed the outcome of the last 34 hours of my brother's life. So yeah. Otto is the man.
All right, guys, I hate to do this, but I got another show in 5 minutes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Glenn B. Fleming, man, we really hope that you kick some butt and you really you get his book started off on the right foot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. You guys tell everybody where they can find you real fast.
All right, super quick. The easiest way to get a hold of us, if you want to get to the campaign that's on the screen right now, go to tinyurl.com/heirs TPP1. That's heirs, HEIRS TPP1 to get to that campaign. Pops has the link there as well, and I'm sure you put it over in the chat.
And it's also in the description.
Yep. So. If you want to see us otherwise, insymmetrycreations.com /InSim on Facebook / InSim Creations on Twitter, and then InSymmetry Creations on Instagram. But for now, Please do what you can, like, share, follow back, everything you can for the last 6 days for our our Kickstarter campaign that's in my name, tinyurl.com/heirs TPP1. We thank you guys for everything. We thank you, Pops. We thank you, Rich, for having us on in the middle of the afternoon on a Monday, especially with, like Steph just said, we lost a week because of the unfortunate situation last week or 2 weeks ago because of my brother. So we really appreciate people helping us out like this.
You bet. I will see both of you very soon.
Thank you,
put that thing away,
guys.
Pops. Jesus, you poked my eye out.
Hey, yo, Pops here. Are you looking to be on Monday Madness? Is Monday no good? Do you need a special edition? Are you looking to be on the first timer spotlight on for you new guys? Launch parties, countdowns, CRoMCon Monthly. We got it all right here at the Madness Comic Network, providing online promotional services for the indie comic community and proud sponsor of
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit CB